We'll call the meeting to order. This is City Commission meeting, Monday, November 13th. It is 5:30. Would you please rise for the invocation and the pledge? Heavenly Father, we ask that you look over us tonight, that you give us wisdom to make good decisions for the city of Leesburg. We do this in your name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No proclamation. All righty. Tonight there are no proclamations. We're going to have a presentation on the Susan Street Sports Complex project, please. Thank you, Travis.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Back here to talk about the Susan Street Complex project. I think we went over a lot of this multiple times, and the footprint really hasn't changed, but we wanted to get some direction going into the 30% design phase. So go to the next slide. So here's our overview. The objective of the project, of course, is to demo the existing facility, create a destination facility with rectangle sports. So those are football, 7-on-7 football, soccer, rugby, lacrosse. If it plays on a rectangle, we'll be able to play it at this complex. We'll touch on the budget at the end of the presentation. The process, so we're the construction manager at risk process. So what we're trying to do is get approval to move this to that 30% so we can get it to the CMAR to get their budget estimate, their first budget estimate. They have 3 deliverables, 30, 60, and the GMP towards the end, or at the end. So we just want to take that first step to get them the budget, or get us a budget. So the numbers that we're going to talk about are the architect and engineer numbers that they're estimating. It's not the CMAR. We wanted to get approval to move on to that stage. So next slide. Complex hasn't changed much since we very first presented this a couple years ago. The fields have maybe slid around sides and the parking lot switched areas, but we're still looking at a stadium with a grandstand with turf surface, 4 multi-purpose fields that are rugby size. Like we've talked about before, anything rugby size, you can play any other rectangle sport on there. And then 1 multi-purpose field in the kind of right in the middle that would be soccer size. Field house with concessions, restrooms, locker rooms. The big change, I think, from the last time we brought this to you guys was the parking lot switched to the northeast corner of the facility, and with a really good change of an entrance coming off of 27. So there was discussion whether it comes off Red Raider, back through Susan Street again, through William Street, or we've always wanted to get off of 27, and we think we came up with a pretty good idea to come off 27. So as far as the complex, again, not a lot has changed. Next slide, we'll go in a little bit more detail on the entrance. So this is the entrance off 27. It's right there by Pizza Hut, in between Pizza Hut and then the Big Lots shopping center area. Have a marquee sign out the front. It's kind of interesting how this is put together here. So to come in off of 27, there's 3 different businesses or entities that own that area that we're going to be coming off of. So we will have to do some purchasing or negotiating of purchasing some of that. You got Pizza Hut owns a square. Pat Sales owns a triangle. It's kind of a weird triangle coming off of Pat Sales right there. And then the Big Lots area, the people who owns that area own the other part. So we got to do some negotiating with all of them. But this gets us really good access coming in and out of Susan Street. And it'd be like almost like a private type entrance into the facility. And our budget. So our budget, we currently have We have the 7.9. With the 2 of that, we're asking to come out of the 25 budget. So we've worked with the Lake County Tourism Development Committee Council. Right now we have 996,000 allocated. We have another $1 million that you guys will see that contract. I was talking to their director today. You'll see that contract in the next couple meetings. That will get us another $1 million from them for this project. We have a legislative priority grant coming in at $750,000. Takes us to that 7.9. Which is the cost. So the complex is right around 7.1. Entrance Road another quarter. Had to see how much that property acquisition is gonna be. So that's where we're at. So we're looking for approval to move on to CMAR budgeting.
Question: what is CMAR?
Construction manager at risk.
Thank you.
Do the commissioners have questions for Travis?
Just comment for the crowd. We don't have to have the entrance off of 27. We do have other ingress egress. I mean, I hope you pull that off. It would be a much better entrance. But just want to clarify, we're moving forward. We have right of way and roads.
Yep.
Is if you go with the entrance and have to negotiate with the property owners, is that going to be up and above this number?
If we have to purchase the property, yes. Yeah. We haven't got into surveying and appraisals yet to see what that might cost.
You looking to buy it or just get access to use it?
I think that's the question. Yeah. We're gonna have to figure that out.
On that note, the concept is to do it right first, and we think the do it right proposal is to come off 27. I think based on where that goes, if we have to purchase, or if we have to work out some sort of ingress-egress agreement, we don't know that answer, but we wanted to present this concept to you. My suggestion would be, depending on where that goes, obviously we don't want to push too much more up over the $8 million number. So then, based on funding levels and based on different things, I think that entryway becomes more key to the project, and then we start probably peeling back fields or that kind of thing, so that we stay at this number. But the first step was to get your approval to move forward, to get the engineers to start getting into the design phases and put us in a position where we can go start approaching those property owners about how we do ingress, egress off of 27, and then fix and address the answers on the backside once we get more info.
Okay, so when you get the numbers, Travis, they'll come back to commission for the yay or nay on if we want to buy the property or enter into a use of the property with them for ingress and egress?
Yes, correct.
Right, and just like we do on all the other projects, this will have a couple other stopping points with the commission. It'll have stopping points as we get into the 30, 60, 90% design phase. We'll be back to you, and then we'll also be back to you when the construction manager at risk number comes in, which is the build number. So there'll be a bunch more financial check-ins and reports to the commission before any money's spent, other than the design number that you've already approved.
How much is the engineering fees?
$562,800. That's what was appropriated.
Travis, I was just going to comment that, in my opinion, the road cutting there between Pizza Hut and that shopping center would benefit both of them. So, I mean, okay.
And we believe so too. Okay. And we wanted to get direction from the council to see before we go approach them, but we don't feel like we feel like they'll be pleased to see a couple thousand people coming in and out of their parking lot.
Yeah. Someone like to make a motion to move this on to CMAR?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Bree?
Yes. Okay, so now we'll go to consider hosting Bike Fest. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Maggie Leiden with the Special Events Division. My objective this evening is to receive approval to continue the tradition of Bike Fest at a manageable scale that will benefit the community. Go ahead. Thank you. We're going to go over the budget. It's detailed in the last slide on here. I am requesting approval to move forward with planning and securing acts and sponsors. It's imperative to begin this process ASAP to secure top-tier entertainment and quality sponsorships. B, also requesting to increase the city manager's spending approval amount to be detailed as well in the last slide. Next slide, please. The highlights will include the city managing 2 stages, condensing the footprint to a manageable scale, upgrading the entertainment to entice attendees from surrounding areas to come spend time here in Leesburg, utilizing new partners that align with our budget, community engagement via opportunities that will include parking opportunities, vending opportunities, securing media partnerships with iHeartMedia and JVC Broadcasting, as well as securing additional new sponsors, as well as retaining those previous sponsors. I've already met with Gator Harley and had lengthy conversations with other sponsorships from the past that are looking forward to enhancing their sponsorship and continuing that relationship for 2024. Next slide, please. This is just a possible layout that we're looking at to work with. We will concentrate within this area for public works, safety, cleanup, open container laws, and paid vendor space in this potential area. Next slide, please. So the $520,000 is above and beyond what the event division's budget is from the CRA, which is $450,000. We're seeking allocations for this event from the general fund reserve, which is approximately $15 million. Some unknowns are entertainment and beverage sales. Regarding alcohol sales, we will be navigating how to best utilize those revenue streams to protect the city's investment, and how to best utilize alcohol sales, given that municipalities cannot profit on alcohol but may be able to utilize for civic funding, as well as maximizing profitability for the city while staying within state statutes. Due to the time crunch in planning this an event of this size, we're requesting the city manager have emergency spending authority, and he will come back on the 27th to file a formal resolution that this cash be spent on this event. I believe that moving forward and bringing in new sponsors and implementing the first mentioned highlights, we can break even on our investment for Bike Fest 2024. Thank you.
Any questions?
I have several. Where did you compile this information from?
Which information specifically?
The expenses and the revenue side.
Based
How
on
did you come up with the numbers?
based on looking at previous years for Bike Fest, as well as
Partnership?
correct, as well as relationships that I have with different partners and vendors.
Okay. And really think you'll raise $200-something thousand in 4 months for sponsorship?
Yes, that is the goal.
And security, $100,000 for a 3-day event?
For a 3-day event with 2 main acts, and that also includes stage security, police, all encompassing.
I have a question, please,
Yes.
Maggie. Do you think this is durable with the time constraints that's put on as a new person coming on board?
It is if we start right now.
Okay, and with that, I also like to know, with more money being spent and new staff, I just don't believe in setting anyone up for failure, but I know that if it's good for the city and the county, it'll be a win-win. But I don't want to put you in a position either that you feel like you jumping in with both feet.
I do have experience in this realm of planning large-scale events, especially music events. So speaking with new partners, that the conversations that I've had, I do think this is attainable. Talking with partners as well as potential sponsors.
Okay, thank
Do you have volunteers?
Yes, I do have volunteers. My phone has not stopped ringing.
Yeah, well, one of the things, too, that we didn't mention in the presentation was some of the outreach we've had with Gator Harley. Gator Harley's always been a very big sponsor of the event. Travis and Maggie have met with John and Jan over at Gator Harley, so I think that partnership will continue to be important as well.
And they're an extremely important sponsor and very willing to help with logistics for this event.
I went to Gator's event over the weekend, and if it's anything like what our Bike Fest could be, I think it would be a success. I think from what I could see, it looked like a huge success for them over the weekend. So.
Are we allowed to ask questions?
It's up to you, Mr. Mayor, and the commission.
We will allow for, we will allow for public comment, but please, if the comment you're going to make, someone else has already made it, we don't want to just see redundancy. So if you'd like to come to the microphone, it's 3 minutes, and you'll be on the clock. So any public comment, please.
Oh, you're done talking now?
Hi, Melissa, McCracken's Pub. Just one question was, are you guys considering changing Anheuser-Busch as the alcohol sponsor because of the marketing negativity they've had in the last year? Because that totally affected attendance last year.
Do you want me to just answer right now? Okay, sorry. Moving forward with a sponsorship with Wayne Dench, there are several things that we could do. Instead of branding it as Bud Light, it could be branded Budweiser or Mick Ultra moving forward.
The only other question I had was about a smaller footprint, which would mean less vendors. So would that be a lower attendance then? Are you worried about that?
No, I think that condensing the footprint and utilizing the space in a different way, we will be able to handle all of those vendors. And then regarding the attendance, upgrading on the entertainment, I believe is going to bring in additional attendance for the event.
That was all I had. Thanks. Okay.
Any other public comment?
Hey guys, how you doing again? I was here at the last meeting as well. I just wanted to know if you guys considered the whole thing with the feather flag thing last time. You know, it's very important to a couple other businesses as well.
Yeah, we'll do that at public comment. We're just trying to talk about this issue right now. There will be public comment after this.
All right, no problem.
In general, so sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem.
My name's Tate. I'm ABETA Florida Lake County Chapter President. We're a motorcycle rights organization. I can speak on behalf of the 298 members in your community that I have in my chapter alone. That's not talking about your Leo clubs and your riding groups. Bike Fest is a big time for a lot of organizations in the area. It's where a lot of us make our money so we can thrive throughout the rest of the year. Not only that, in meetings past before this commission, it was said that certain people didn't benefit from Bike Fest. I'll tell you that's untrue. Anybody that works in the hospitality community benefits from Bike Fest. The hotels are packed. We do a campground every year, we're packed. Fast food, restaurants, they're packed. The bars are packed. Leesburg will make money off of Bike Fest. And if you can bring in better bands, more reputable bands at this point in time, it'll bring more people. Let's stop with the washed out bands from the past, get some new people that the younger generation knows. You'll make your money back.
Any other public comments? Would someone like to make a motion?
So moved.
And what are we moving?
Moving forward with the presentation with Bike Fest.
Okay. Second. Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Eastman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunnell?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Go back. Okay, at this time, we're going to move on to item 4, which is public comments. If there's anyone that wants to, yeah, we'll take just a few seconds here and let anybody who wants to leave.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's up to you. You got to change the code. I don't mean to shirk out of anything there, but
No, I got you. Okay, we'll move forward now. With public comments. This section is reserved for members of the public to bring up matters of concern or opportunities for praise. Issues brought up will not be discussed in detail at this meeting. Issues will either be referred to the proper staff or will be scheduled for consideration at a future City Commission meeting. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. Public comment.
Hey, good evening. My name is Marcelino Miranda, Mayan Blends Barbershop here in Leesburg, 2304 West Main Street. I was here at the last meeting talking about the banner flags, the one with the feather flags, and about the code about it. I was very hoping you guys would be able to consider it for a future meeting. We've already had a couple conversations with a lot of business owners on West Main Street themselves and a couple on North Boulevard. They couldn't make it here tonight, unfortunately, but if needed, I'll name a couple of them. We all feel the same way in a sense that right now it's kind of hindering business since we received those letters in the mail. We kind of feel that it's a bit unnecessary. I get like some people, they like to stack up a bunch of yard signs and be excessive with it. But for a lot of us, it's actually a key figure for some of us who are not in the best situation. We're not all in plazas. We're not all on by the side of the road. Some of us only have that one possibility as a flag to rely on. And I understand some people back in the day voted on it against it because it was a nuisance, but I'm here to kind of say that if we can agree on something not being a nuisance, I would love to see that for the future of not just my business, but every other person's business in Leesburg as well, because I believe we will bring a lot more to younger generation, and especially in the city of Leesburg. So those are really everything I have to say. I just hope you guys consider it. I really would love to see that change, not just for me, but for everybody else who plans to run a business now and in the future. Thank you.
Hi. Good evening. Sandy Moore with the Leesburg Area Chamber of Commerce. On November 4th, we had our chili cook-off, Burn in the Berg chili cook-off in Town Square, and I wanted to thank the city for all your support and helping to make that happen. I especially want to commend the crew that worked on Town Square. It looked awesome. The mulch, just everything looked so good, and the lights were up. I think it was a really great representation of the city. We had more cookers than ever before. Thank you to Commissioner Reisman and Commissioner Berry for coming out and helping volunteer for the event as well. But we really had a great event, and we could not have done it without the city's support, especially the new events section and the things that we were able to borrow from them to make it successful, the things that we would have borrowed from the partnership in the past. So thank you for letting that be available to us as well. Thank you.
Any other public comment?
I'm Elliot with Blue Island Sportswear. We're moving into the Southern Gardens building. I want to bring something up. I've met two of you gentlemen, and it's been incredible. The response back on things I've asked for, immediate and taken care of. There's a parking situation that we're all aware of, and we've all heard about it, and blah, blah, blah. That's great. There's laws downtown, 3-hour parking. We need it enforced. We need it done. I talked to and got 6 places on downtown for them to move. And in one day, from 11 to 3 o'clock, I got my cameras out there and we sat and counted 26 different vehicles that were customers from 11 to 3 alone. All I'm asking is enforce the laws that we have. Thank you.
Got that, Chief?
Understood.
All right. Any other public comment?
Joyce Carter, and I'm up here on an impromptu notice, but it was something I did want to mention before, but I was not able to come to these meetings. I moved into my home, I think it was like in 2012, and it was so dark. It was like pitch black driving home up my garage at night. So I called the city, and they told me that if I wanted a light, I would have to pay for it. So, and I'm still paying for it. They told me if a pole was not there, they would have to install a pole, and I would have to pay more. But thank God the pole was there. Okay, so recently, the city has added more streetlights in Woodland Park community, and I'd like to know, why am I the only resident out there having to pay for safetiness for a light in front of my home when everybody else is scot-free? And I will...
Address?
I'm sorry?
Your address?
I'm Agnes's sister.
No, address. What's your address?
Is, oh, I'm sorry. It's 2117 Woodland Boulevard.
So I will get in touch with you, Ms. Carter. Just, there's a security light, street light differential. So let me just pull your account, find out all the specifics, and I'll get back with you here shortly.
I appreciate that much.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all.
Any other public comment? All right. Move on to item 5. This is the consent agenda. Routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commission or staff wish to discuss any item, the procedure is as follows. Pull the item or items from the consent agenda, vote on remaining items with one roll call vote, discuss each pulled item, and vote by roll call. Are there any items any of the commissioners would like to pull? I want to pull 5C, let's see, that's 3. 5C3? Mm-hmm. Or 5B, let's see, what is that? 5B3. Is that what I got here? Yeah. 5B3.
I'll make a motion to approve all the remaining items.
Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. I asked to pull that item. I talked to Al a little bit earlier today. This is we had 8 bids on this project. I am in favor of the project. I don't want to belabor that point, but the bid is for $755,000. 5 of the bids were for well over $1 million. So, there was a pretty big difference in these. So in order to get my support, I would like for us to have a certification of the bid to make sure everything's right.
Yeah, and what we have done in the past when we've had that bid discrepancy, we have the contractor sign a form that basically supports their bid. So I'll have Aaliyah go back and do that. So I would just ask, so we keep the project moving, that you add that as an addendum. Right. Before we execute the project, we get that form signed. So the motion the mayor, I think, would offer as an amendment to ensure that we have the bid support documentation from the contractor before executing the contract.
Correct. Is that your approval, Grant?
Yes, sir.
Can I get a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. And now we could get on the amended
So we need to
item.
introduce
Yeah.
it and
That was
Yes.
Now the original.
So do we need an
Yeah, that
approval
was
for
that was the vote on the amendment. So now we need to vote on the item.
The amended item.
So motion to approve 5B3.
Yes, 5B3.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Connell,
Yes.
Commissioner Eastman,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Barry,
Yes.
Mayor Brady.
Yes. Okay, so that takes care of the consent agenda. Now we're on to 6. Public hearings, non-routine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move on to item 6, public hearings and non-routine items. 6A is second reading of ordinances. We have none. First reading of ordinances, we have none. Move on to item 6C, non-routine items. Would someone please introduce 6C1?
6C1 to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a management services agreement with Acres Media to manage Lakefront TV and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion?
I do. I have several. I believe our present provider has been running the station for, 10 years?
Correct.
Do we have an issue with the provider on how they're operating and what they're doing?
Yeah, no. The answer is no. The provider has, I think the provider's in their, Facibella is in their second long-term contract with the city. The current provider's about 10 years of service. The fact of the matter is the contract has expired. The contractor has gone through both phases of a contract with options for renewal, and under the statutes that require procurement, the current contractor has ended their contractual relationship and we're required to bid the service. So we sent a bid out into the marketplace. We had a committee put together to review it. The process was a request for proposals so that we could marry cost as well as qualifications. So there's some abstractness to the process so that you can take into consideration all types of issues: experience, qualifications, tenure with the city, and then cost. Cost was about a third of the total awarded points. The total awarded points was 150 from from 5 different judges on the committee. And we had an initial round where we had an initial ranking. And then in the process, as I explained to the commission at the last meeting, on kind of comparing apples to apples on cost, we sent into the marketplace for the 3 respondents a clarification so that we could have a clearer delineation on costs. And the cost issue broke down to what was the value of production minutes for the cost that they're providing. And on the second review of that, and after each of the applicant submitted a response to the criteria, we determined that Acres Media was the lowest cost, best provider. So we re-ranked accordingly. We were strict, we being myself and the procurement manager, were strict in terms of point awards. So that 1 point on costs was a maximum of 50 points. There were 3 respondents. So we ranked 50, 40, 30. The lowest cost provider based on production minutes at 50 points, the second lowest 40 points, and the highest cost provider 30 points. Then we added those points back into the points that were awarded to the committee on the other issues of experience and so forth. And then at that point, Acres Media was the lowest cost provider. Their total package was $180,000. We have $178,250 in fiscal year 24 for the service.
Does the proposed contractor, they have experience running a TV station?
I don't. Let me rephrase your question, because I don't. Running a TV station was not the service that was requested. The service that was requested was broadcasting public meetings and making productions for the city's TV station. So the answer to that question is yes. All 3 respondents, I think, were all highly qualified in producing materials that would be produced and put on the TV station.
Other comments?
I have a question. The equipment, does Acres Mill have the equipment?
Acres responded in their initial request that they do have the equipment to make productions, and they do have the experience to broadcast the public meetings. So based on their submittal, I think you have to go with the assumption that they do have the equipment, expertise, and the tools necessary to air the meetings and to make media productions.
Yeah, I'll start with this is a tough one, but sometimes change is good, sometimes change isn't so good. We've got a company that's done this for 10 years, done a great job, in my opinion, established good relationships in the community. We have the letters from community leaders, good relationship with department heads. You know, if I was in the private sector, this would just be a negotiated contract, but government had to bid this out. I appreciate the other companies, you know, participating in it. They were all good proposals, but I just can't see pulling it from this company that's done a great job for 10 years. I do understand the numbers. I know Al can find the numbers. It's not too big. I respect the budget process, but I would like to see us stick with, you know, the current provider, who's just, I think, has been passionate about this. I've actually told her on a couple of occasions she needs to learn to say no, because, you know, look at her production hours, you know, last year. I mean, she's never said no to anybody, to my knowledge. She probably need to going forward, but it's a tough one, but I am going to support the incumbent here, the existing one, and I encourage. I think it's best for the city.
I know this was a very tense and political and emotional RFP process. I think a lot of us got involved in it. If I could probably say I have the most working experience with Facci Bella, Lakefront TV, with airport videos and different videos that I've hosted and things like that. And it's been a good working relationship. But I have to take my emotional, whether it be a friendship or anything like that, out of the picture, and I have to make the best decision for the city. So that's why I will support the current RFP proposal.
I think the current contractors have been doing it for 10 years, no issues, no problems. They know what they're doing. And I agree with Commissioner. Sometimes, you know, change is good, but sometimes it's not good. And so I just think if it's not broken, don't fix it.
I'll make my comments on this. I'll say right up front, I am not a media savvy person. I am not, you know, don't do a lot of filming, so I'm relying on the committee we put together to gauge who should do this. And our committee said it should be Acres, so I'm going to support Acres.
I mean, I don't know that the committee had any more background in media than you or me, so, you know, it was just their recommendation.
They're the committee, and they did the rating.
It was a recommendation.
From us, so.
I would like to add a comment. It was based on financial criteria, production and broadcasting, correct, for the media, that the group that was brought in.
Correct.
We did not see anything of their artistic criteria. However, we all know that they are, nevertheless, would do a great job, like has been stated. But I just wanted to make a comment that it was based on financials for us, the criteria, of the different 6, 7 categories that was listed.
Again, Commissioner, I don't want to split hairs. Mm-hmm. It was based on experience and credentials as well as financial, and financial was 1/3 of the total points.
Yeah.
So we've heard from each of the commissioners regarding this, but a decision has to be made. So I'm looking for a motion.
I don't know what's appropriate.
If you want to come to the microphone, please do. We'll allow for public comment.
Thank you. My name is Lonnie Berry. I live at 900 McCormick Street. This is primarily an artistic endeavor. Of course, you got to pay for it. But what's most important is what it looks like. And I'm questioning whether or not each of you took the opportunity to evaluate each of the applicants based on their artistic abilities. No two production companies are the same. Nobody's going to make it look the same. And I think that's if this were a restaurant, you would all want to taste the food.
Thank you, Lionel.
My name is John Sokol, and I know you guys, the money part of Lakefront TV, but Lakefront TV is a lot more than that. You guys were basing, from what I heard from Al, basically on what they were going to do and rebroadcast basically the meetings and everything. But Lakefront TV is a lot more than that. If you've ever sat down and watched that show or watched that channel, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of great shows that get produced, whether she brings them in or where she gets them. She's constantly out there taking what's happening in our community and putting it out on the air so the people that can't see it do get the opportunity to see it. You know, she has, as everybody said, or most of you said, she's proved herself over the years that she's done it. She's an extremely hard worker, Dr. Anna Marie, and I think that what might happen is that, you know, the people that do watch that channel are going to suffer. I mean, there's so much great quality and entertainment, you know, that the community, Leesburg and the surrounding community get out of that channel, that if we're just basing it on the fact that we want to make sure that our commission meetings are on there, yes, anybody can do that. That's not a hard problem. But what's really being programmed on that channel, and if anybody watched it, that's where I think it's going to lack. And I think down the line, people are really going to see a difference.
Thank you, Commissioners, Mr. Mayor. Doug Akers, President, Akers Media Group. Obviously, with the proposal here, and the committee had awarded the bid to us. And just obviously, our well-known product is our magazines. But for over 10 years, we have been producing video and content for our clients that is white labeled. So we do this for a living for clients all over the state of Florida. Not necessarily managing a TV station, but producing quality content. And that quality content is white labeled. One of the things we don't do a good job is self-promotion, is letting you guys know all this great content we're producing for other businesses. The difference we bring is there's a lot of people out there that produce quality content. We have an audience to get that content in front of a larger audience and is currently in place with Lakefront TV. We can leverage Style Magazine, other assets we have, to be able to take the content that we produce and get it to a larger audience. And everybody produces great content. The other two companies, they produce great content. I think we produce great content. The difference is we have an audience that we can share that content with. So thank you for your time.
Other comment?
I feel as though I should say something. First of all, Anna Marie Kwashok, president, owner, Facciabella Productions, and current vendor, has managed, operated Lakefront TV for the past 10 years. I just want to say it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve this commission for the past 10 years, and all the departments. You know, it was about this time, 10 years ago, I was approached. Facciabella was actually approached by the city of Leesburg to step in to salvage a station that was about ready to go dark. Came in with my broadcast quality equipment. We set the studio up. We actually were the first ones to take productions outside the box. Up until Facciabella, everything was produced inside the studio. So we increased the production quality. We increased the production quantity. We were then faced with, several years after then, the fact of a failing cable cast system. This is much more than just producing pretty videos, folks, okay? This is managing and operating a television station information, and there is a technical part of this, okay? So when the server died 7 years ago, Facibella, hand in hand with the IT department, went ahead and we selected a server that actually allowed us to go high definition. At that time, Facibella acquired for the city of Leesburg Prism 21, their high definition channel 1021. Since then, Amazon, Fire Stick, Apple TV, Roku. And then right now, actually, I'm talking with Optical to get our station into southern Leesburg, into actually a Legacy, Plantation area. So the fact of the matter is yes, we could produce pretty videos, but the fact of the matter is there's a technical aspect. You all remember when we were faced with COVID, this chamber had to be rebuilt 3-4 times a month at the Venetian Center. My guys were there at 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, setting up all the cameras, the audio. So there is a major technical part. And then, during that time period, we were able, because of that challenge of COVID, we're the ones that actually got the hardware, the software to go live remote. We were able to bring these meetings live from the Venetian Center. That also gave us the opportunity to do live coverage of the Christmas parades and Miss Leesburg Scholarship. Facibella has never put a cap on this station, okay? We could all produce 2-minute, 5-minute videos, but the fact of the matter is, what are you going to fill the rest of that airtime with? Florida Cable Channel, infomercials? I could truly say I ran the station as a true community channel. And I polished a gem that was very rough, and I think I polished it very well for the city, and I'm very proud what I've accomplished. Brought on Lake County government programming. Lake Sumter College now programming is actually partnering with us. They want to produce content with us, the interns at Lake Sumter College. Their station, of course, unfortunately, is dark right now, but they do want to rebuild it, and I've been helping them rebuild it. So, again, it's been an honor. I'm not going to bore you, but I think my past 10 years have proven what I've done and accomplished for the city, and I really want the city, whoever gets this contract, they appreciate and they treat this as a true gem for the city, because it truly is. We're very fortunate. It's the only TV channel in Lake County. So anyway, thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor, and I appreciate your support all this time. Thanks.
Any other comment from the public? Commissioners, we are charged with making a decision, so we need a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the RFP or the 6C1 as is.
Is there a second for that motion?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
No.
Commissioner Berry?
No.
Commissioner Connell?
No.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. No decision. So we're looking for a second motion.
I will make a motion to continue the contract with Facibella. I can't say it. I think I can say it by now. I can spell it. I can't pronounce it.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
No.
Mayor Burry?
No. Facibella carries.
So the contract that was in your packet was for Acres Media. So I would just ask, based on your motion, that I'll go back and work with Facibella, modify the contract. That contract will then be in your packet for the next meeting on the consent agenda. With all due question, though, and with the commission some guidance here, the Facibella contract was $240,000, which is about $60,000 over budget. So I'd ask for some liberty when I discuss this with Dr. Anna Marie, that we bring that number within a budget parameter based on what we have in the budget. Based on her negotiations, that number will be in the contract. So you'll either have a contract that falls within the budget at the unit cost that was identified in the RFP, or I'll bring to you a contract that's what her number was, which was the 240 number, which puts us over budget. But if you have any questions on that, it'll be in the consent agenda, and you can pull that item at the next meeting. Is everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir, I'm good with that. I'm sure Mr. Minner will chat with me about it, and I'll be happy to work with him on that.
Thank you.
But we just approved the RFP, so I thought we just approved it was 235.5. I thought so. To my opinion, we just approved that.
You did not have a contract, unless Grant, you want to strike the name, okay? So you have a contract that was before you that you rejected.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you were changing the number on her. I'm fine. I understand changing the contract.
You have a contract before you that was not for Facci Bella. Therefore, I think you need to have a contract before you that is with Facci Bella. I asked for liberty to change the number when you reconsider the Facci Bella contract to bring it within budget parameters. I don't know if Dr. Anna Marie will be open to that concept, so you will either have a Facci Bella contract for 178 with less production minutes, or you'll have a contract agreement with you that's for the 25 or 2,800 minutes at the $240,000. Either way, the Facci Bella contract will be on the consent agenda, and you can pull it at that time. Unless you all want to tell me just go with Facci Bella for $240 and we'll find the money in the budget. Then I won't negotiate with Dr. Anna Marie, and I think it would be appropriate for Dr. Anna Marie to sit down right now and not discuss this publicly.
No cap.
But I will discuss that with her, and I will have that in your packets next week. Unless you want me to just go 240. That was the question.
I think the number helped me out. I think it's 235.5, but I would like to go ahead and put that number in the contract.
If that's the direction.
That's what I thought we approved.
Or you can pull it if you don't like. You can pull it either way.
It was
235.5.
So I was just asking for number clarification. If you want a contract that's 235.5 for Facci Bella, at the minutes, we will modify the contract and it'll be on consent agenda like that.
Well,
and that's what you're telling me.
Yeah, and I don't take that.
Heads nodding.
Yeah, I don't take that lightly.
I got
but,
3 heads nodding.
Okay. I just want to qualify.
I'm going to be an auctioneer. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't take that lightly, but I want to continue it as is, and I don't want her to. I joked about her learning to say no, but I don't want her to pull back her. I want her just to run the station like she's been running it.
You will have an amended agenda. You will have an amended contract as directed.
Okay. Thank you, Al. Thank you for the clarification.
You're good. Got it.
Okay. Would someone please introduce item 6C? Let's see, where are we? 6C2.
A and B.
We're going to do 2. They're all kind of different. So.
They're all different. All right. I'll make a motion to approve 6A2. Or, yeah, 6C2.
6C2.
Yeah, 6C2.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, approving language revisions to the Home Improvement Grant Program and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, could you speak of this, Al?
Yep. Okay. I can't. This summer, the commission approved, this past summer, the commission approved the modified home grant. In short, that home grant provided up to $25,000 for qualifying home improvements that would be made to houses within the city of Leesburg. So the grant that you approved would be applicable to any house anywhere inside corporate limits of the city of Leesburg. In the budget process, you then made an allocation to fund the program, but only in the Carver Heights CRA, with the Carver Heights CRA money to the amount of $300,000. As your staff endeavored to process and get this grant rolling and get applicants out, we ran into a little bit of a modification that was very positive, that other partners would be out there that would bring other HUD money, Housing and Urban Development, and HUD money flows in different ways, federal government typically to the states, and then to different organizations. So specifically, Habitat for Humanity and the Lake County Community Action Agency has available HUD monies that match the home grant program. So Sandra and I, and with some consultation from Commissioner Berry, thought that if we could marry our program with the other programs, we could do a couple of different things. Primarily, we could get more money to improve houses. And so that may be in the flavor of keeping our grant at $25,000 and marrying it with Habitat for Humanity or Lake Community Action, or maybe it's bring down our grant requirement so that money can be spread out and then marrying it with a different partner. In any case, marrying it with a different partner then provides opportunity to hopefully improve more homes or improves homes at a varying level, which shares the wealth and hopefully expedites rehabilitation of houses that need improvement. And at the end of the day, when those things happen, assessed values go up, better housing stock, it's better for the community overall. To do this partnership, we needed to do basically two things: modify the grant and then approve an MOU between partners. So the first item on the agenda is to modify the grant. The grant modifications does two things. There was a reimbursement requirement for Leesburg and a lien requirement for Leesburg. So first, we're asking you to reconsider the reimbursement criteria. The reimbursement criteria exists, and it typically states, right, it states, not typically, it states right now that reimbursement, that payment of the grant will be done on a reimbursement basis. That language does not change. So if we issue a home grant to somebody in Leesburg, they are required to make those improvements, and then we reimburse it. We stick a second paragraph in there that's a however paragraph now, and we say if an applicant has a partner, recognized partner, then we will have a construction administrator that will go through and help us administer the program. That construction administrator will come from one of our partners, potentially in the next item being Habitat or Lake Community Agency, where they'll go through, they'll review the grant applications, they'll ensure that the improvements that they're requesting from us are reasonable. They may need to be more, they may need to be less, and then we'll marry that with the money that that partner brings, whether it be Habitat or whether it be Lake Community Action. Their money is federal. So we'll get to that in the second issue. I jumped ahead of myself. So the first thing says it changes the reimbursement. If you go it alone and you just work with the city, the rules that you impose stay in place. If you have a partner, the modification will do a reimbursement on a draw basis, but instead of paying the recipient, we will pay directly the agency. That way, money will never go to the partner. It will go immediately to the agency based on a draw request. So, for example, if Lake Action Agency says they got to pay Acme Roofing $5,000, we'll cut a check to Acme Roofing, or we'll cut a check to Lake Agency, and we will have the receipt that shows that that money is going where it's going. That will, we think, really help the folks because of the LMI requirement. That's the next section. So the next section is the lien modification. So we use a different word. Instead of lien, we're calling it, what would Commissioner Berry help me out? It was a covenant for repayment. So we use a little friendlier word. It has the same intent.
Hey, I'm trying to learn something here. What's the name of this document?
The covenant for repayment. So basically, it's a happier word rather than lien. And again, the basic requirement is if you work with the city only, you have to do the two things we said. You have to bring money to the table, and we'll waive the lien requirement. And if you don't bring money to the table, then we're going to lien you for 5 years. That doesn't change. We do change it. Instead of say lien you for 5 years, we're going to say we have a covenant for repayment to make it a little friendlier. However, now we add the new paragraph. If you go and have a partner, HUD will not allow those grant monies to be spent with a lien. So the federal government says you can't do what you all did. That doesn't mean you can't do what you did, but the federal government says you can't. You can't. So if we're going to be in partner with them and we're going to marry the federal government money with the local government money, We got to follow the federal rules to get us in there. So we have a waiver of the covenant of repayment if you have a partner. And it basically says if you have a partner, there's no requirement for repayment. Those are the modifications to the home grant, those basic things. The next item on the agenda is the memorandum of understanding with potential recognized partners. And they both basically say the same thing. They lay out the program on how we'll work with Habitat and how we will potentially work with Lake Community Action Agency. And if we find any other partners, we'll do an MOU with them and we'll bring that to you as well. But right now we only have the 2 recognized partners. So we're asking that you approve the modification of the grant and the 2 MOUs, and then we'll go back out, remarket it, re-advertise. Not as far as we'll accept the applications that we have on hand. So when I say re-advertise, we'll have another community meeting. We had one community meeting that I thought had very good participation, but there are a lot of different questions asked, some on this exact topic, which is what was the catalyst for modifying the grant that's before you this evening. So we're asking that you modify the grant with the red line changes that's in the packet and then approve the 2 MOUs. If you do that, the process will basically be we will go back out, we'll get the grant applications, we will review them. We will then provide that to whichever partner we pick. Whichever partner we pick will then go out, inspect the home, do a pre-inspection, do some stuff. One of the lines in the MOU is that they will want a 3 or 4% inspection fee and administration fee, either Habitat or Lake, which we then make eligible from our monies. So some of your grant monies will go to pay these administrative fees with a partner, but overall there's more money in the pot so that we will still have more improvements, but we'll also have more clarification, more management on where the money and how the money's spent, which I think is an overall good thing for ensuring that the money does what it's supposed to be doing.
Take a breath.
Thank you. Once we get that report back from our partner, we will then make a grant contract. So that grant contract will come to the commission. You approve that grant contract, and that grant contract will have the participant and the partner potentially. You approve that grant, so before any money's spent, it's back to the commission. So you all will sign off on every single grant and every single penny, and every single grant and every single penny will be laid out in that contract that you'll approve. You execute it, the recipient approves it, and then we'll go back to the partner and say, get to work. Then we'll start doing the draws. Then hopefully in time, we'll have lots of houses repaired and housing stock improved in the city of Leesburg.
Just for clarification, I know this is citywide, but this is only funded for the CRA right now, correct?
Yes. Correct. Right now, it is only funded in the Carver Heights CRA. My hope is that that area, that the Carver Heights CRA is the pilot program, if you will. We do have some requirements that are still in there. So if we have a partner, there'll be the LMI requirement. LMI, by the way, means low to moderate income. So you have to meet certain income restrictions based on 1 person, 2 person, 5, 6, 7, 8 person family. It has to have a total income requirement. You meet those guidelines, you get the grant. So we'll have all those reviews, all those processes, which will be in the contract that you approve.
I have several questions. Just to recap, because you said a mouthful there. If they have a partner, what does our program? They can go up to 25,000.
Our program is 25,000.
Okay, so if they have a partner, do we still give them 25?
We give them 25 plus the partner, so you could have a program that's up to, I think, about 35,000.
Okay. Does the partner, are they going to require this covenant of?
No, they can't.
No, they can't. That's why we're modifying it. So
no, I know we can't, but I didn't know if they did.
They can't. Okay. They don't have a covenant for repayment, or they don't have a lien, because HUD's purpose of the program is to fix houses for low to moderate income people, so they do not have a repayment criteria. HUD doesn't want a repayment criteria.
So we're going to give 25,000, up to 25,000 of taxpayer money with no restrictions that any time span they have to live there for.
If we have a partner.
Okay. Well, I mean, is the partner going to match what we give them?
Potentially, yes.
Potentially, but not required.
Correct. So there could be different variables based on how much money the partner has. Somewhere around 10,000, it could be up to 15,000. But you could still be a total grant amount out the door at 25,000, but it could be married with $10,000 of city money and 15,000 of partner money, or vice versa. I mean, any variables up to the potential max. So you still could have a total $25,000 grant go out, and basically the partnership is enabling us to spread the wealth. And in doing so, we'll have to take on some of the federal rules,
But I mean,
which
are we going
prohibit the lien.
We're going to lower what we give them if they got a partner?
Potentially.
Potentially, but so I'm not understanding how, if we got 300,000 to work with, if we're not going to lower it down if they have a partner, how's that spreading it out to more participants?
Because instead of 25,000, it could be 10, 15, 5,000. The partnership brings in the inspection criteria so that the partner may say, no, they don't need 25,000 of city money. They'll suffice with 10,000 of city money and 10,000 of partner money. So it's up to. And so basically we're being more efficient with the money, which then is spreading the money out. So you could have a really bad, ugly house, excuse the French, right? Really bad, ugly house that could need more than $25,000 of improvement. Or you could have a house that only needs $25,000 of improvement, and the partner's going to say, well, if you do this and we do that, we can spread the wealth and maximize the grant money.
So who does the assessment if they don't have an apartment?
The partner will.
No,
Who
if
does?
we don't, if it's just us.
Housing will do that. Leesburg Housing.
And then that will have the covenant on it?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, I would think if we're going to waive the covenant with a partner, then we should just match what the partner contributes.
We're going to say that again?
I think if you're going to waive the requirement of the covenants on the repayment, meaning that the length of time they have to live there, then we shouldn't provide taxpayer money of any more than their partner is going to provide. We shouldn't do 25 and the partner does 5, and then therefore all bets are off. We're not going to put any type of restrictions on, but we're going to penalize this person who didn't get the 5,000 through a partner, and they've got a 5-year requirement on their deed.
So would the homeowner then have the option, if they have partnered, can they uncouple that partnership and say, I just want to go with the city?
Yes.
So that would be up to the homeowner then.
But the homeowner's going to want to go the other direction. He doesn't want the claw. Yeah, I call it a clawback provision. I mean,
correct. I understand where Commissioner.
He brings up. I mean, I'm okay with the program. He brings up an interesting point.
It could be that, so in Commissioner Cannell's example, as I understand it, would be, okay, the partner comes in and says, there's only $10,000 worth of improvement here, not 25. So 10 from the partner, 10 from the city. So Commissioner Cannell would say, okay, then that partner can't get 15 from us and 10 from them if we're going to waive a lien. The Commissioner Cannell is saying whatever the partner's match is, so too is the city, then you waive the lien. In some cases that may work, some cases it may not, because there may be improvements to the house that's going to surpass what the partner's bringing to the table, where you'll still need additional city monies. So I understand where you're going. It's really a call that you make. I think if we're going to partner and we're going to try to spread the wealth, then we need to have the exception in the home grant program, which waives the lien requirement.
I'd like to add, please, part of the plan that I presented. If the approval was for $25,000 per house, if needed, but with the partnering, they will determine what is needed based on the weatherization that they do and whatever assessment when looking at the house. So I can't imagine it being more. I mean, you have an option to choose more than what is actually needed. I mean, you see what I'm saying? I don't see how a homeowner could ask for the $15,000 and then ask for the partner only give $5,000. It would only be, it should be the other way around. Am I not understanding your question?
Here, I'll say this just directly. I understand, and no disrespect, I understand where Commissioner Cannell is headed. That case may be out there. My concern is that because the federal programs are slightly different than the city programs on what can be spent, if you limit it to match only what the federal person brings, then some improvements may not get made. So Commissioner Cannell's proposal limits potential improvements. I understand the philosophy, but I think it shortchanges, and it doesn't take the program potentially to where we want to go, which is maximize total improvements to houses that need it.
That's the goal.
So, back up. I expect to have quite a few applicants. We could weight them in that form or fashion, couldn't we? I mean, if you got, let's just say we have a bundle of applicants. That could be a factor. If you're not,
but that will be done. As the applications come in, we'll rank based on the criteria that's in the grant, which is how much money we have, first come, first serve, what's getting done, where is it getting done, and grouping. So all those criteria are in there. So when you get these contracts, we'll have prioritized them already.
Commissioner Cannell brings up a great point, but I think I'd like to move forward as is in the first year. We can then we can come back and evaluate, look at what we did, see how the money was spent. If we perceive there was a problem, or if we're not happy with it, we can maybe tweak it then. But I think I know people worked hard on this. They brought a good product forward. I'm willing to try it like it is. I have one question though. How do you distinguish between the two groups? I mean, right now there's two.
Habitat and Lake had existing HUD monies, or HUD to state. I'm calling it HUD to shorten it up, but they had existing grant monies in their account. They have existing open grants that have funding.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy with both of them. I was just curious how we distinguish between them, how we allocate the money.
They go on a HUD cycle. So they have existing monies that are ready to be allocated for the purpose in Leesburg.
Okay, I'm fine.
And those partner numbers are going to change on the federal calendar.
So we've discussed item number 2, but we need a motion to accept doing the program, and then we can talk about
the MOU.
Right. Yep.
I move that we accept the program. I move that we accept the program that has been presented by the Housing Department.
Second. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
No.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Okay. So now we're going to look at, would someone please introduce 6C2A?
Motion to approve it, or motion introduce 6C2A.
I'm ready to.
Hey, you're just trying to move it along. I get it. You're trying to move it along.
Right. So, too many letters in here.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding, MOU, between the City of Leesburg and Habitat for Humanities of Lake Sumter for the Housing Repair Grant Program and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second. Discussion. So this is just saying that we are approving Habitat as
a partner, and the MOU lays out what the partner does. The MOU lays out what the city does, just as it is in the packet.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 6C2B.
I'll let someone else introduce it. Go ahead.
I'll introduce. It has to be read by title only.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute a memorandum of understanding, MOU, between the City of Leesburg and the Lake Community Action Agency, Inc., for the Home Repair Grant Program and providing an effective date.
Move for approval.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Reisman?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Mayor Burry?
Yes. Someone please introduce 6C3.
I'll introduce 6C3.
just a discussion item.
Oh, we don't have to. Okay, yeah.
Just to maybe.
Well, we do have to decide, so there's really nothing to it. Okay. So this item is just a discussion item, so technically we don't need to introduce it. But we have 3 meetings. If you guys saw in the, it's the January 2nd. Is that the
January 1st.
January 1st. Then it's May
27th.
27th and November the 11th. That fall on a Monday when we have a scheduled city commission meeting, but they are holidays. So in the past, this past year, the same thing happened on the 1st. We moved the organizational meeting, which is what that January, first meeting in January is, to 30 minutes before the first city commission meeting. At that point, we did our organizational meeting, assign committees, and that kind of stuff. So it's my opinion that that worked well this time. So I think that, nothing has changed with how we need to do that. That's okay, Grant?
Yes, sir.
So if you guys are okay with that as a discussion item, we can do that for the January meeting?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. And the other two, I'm open to ideas. My thoughts just push it back one day.
Yeah, have those on Tuesday.
But
Anybody? Is that good?
Good, thank you.
You're fine with that?
Yep.
That discussion is made. Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Informational reports. Do we have any questions regarding the financial reports as of August of 2023? Any questions on the September reports? City attorney items.
No items, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
City manager items.
Yeah, unfortunately, just one item this evening. I'd like, if I can, on behalf of the City Commission and staff here at the city, recognize Betty Richardson. Unfortunately, Betty had been ill the last few years, and she passed away on, I believe, the 4th of November, just a few days short of her 83rd birthday. Betty had worked for the city for about 34 years in the clerk's office, and she was our city clerk for 10 years. Dedicated service. The service today was very moving. Her sons both made super nice presentations about their mom and all the things she did. And the only thing I will quip with is I never knew Betty to be late because Betty was always here every other Monday right at 5:30. So with that, I'd just like to offer our condolences and prayers and support for the Richardson family.
Thank you. Roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Commissioner Connell?
Nothing.
Commissioner Reisman?
A couple things. Congratulations to our very own at the LPD, K-9 Officer Joe Huser and K-9 Nick. They took second place at the 2023 Space Coast Police K-9 competition. So huge congratulations to them. Any updates on the gambling facilities?
No, but let me visit offline with you.
Okay.
Too.
And then I've noticed a lot of, and I'm not sure how we handle it. I've noticed a lot of food trucks popping up everywhere, all over the city.
Let me get with Chief and Code on that as well.
Yeah. Okay. That'll be it for me.
Mayor Berry?
Just one minor item. We are celebrating another day today. Our fearless leader has a birthday today.
Happy birthday.
How many? What did you have?
53.
53 of them behind him.
53 of them.
Here he is. That's all I've got for us tonight. Motion
to adjourn.
Seconded. We're done. Thank you, guys.